हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति यत्कृपातमहं श्री गुरु हरे नाम हरे नाम करुणास्ते विनाशदेवा Everybody all say that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada. Everybody wants to get that. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Raja Hari Bol. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Everybody.
well done. It was her first attempt at singing the Shivit round. She's only 10 years old and it takes so much of courage. So well done, Arya. Let's give her another round of applause. So it's our very first Namahatta for 2025. Welcome. It is so nice to see everybody back here on behalf of the Namahatta and the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, founded by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A very warm welcome and thank you for joining us. And it's so lovely to see so many faces from all over. We have lots of guests from Queensborough. We have Ajay Rishi Prabhu and Suya Devi Dasi, Shama Gopi Dasi. We have Dharam Raj Prabhu. We have Kanhaiya, who sang such a lovely kirtan. Let's give him a round of applause. We have Shatrugna Prabhu in the back. And we have Dharam Raj Prabhu's dad, Pradyumna Mishra Das, that's here. And Patita Pavna Prabhu that we hardly see and we miss so much. And Vimala Prabhu. So there's so many, every one of you, welcome, and we're so happy to see you all. So it is my honor and privilege in introducing our speaker for today, His Grace Shri Prabhu. So I was actually very excited when I heard that Shri Prabhu is going to be coming to Namahatta to give our very first class for 2025. I have so much of respect for him and I enjoy our conversations that we've had recently. So Prabhu joined the Hare Krishna movement in 1970. And in 1971, he was initiated by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And in 1972, he came here to South Africa, the very first person to come to South Africa to preach Krishna consciousness. There you go. And in 1972, it was a strict apartheid regime. It was very difficult conditions for Prabhu, very challenging times for him. And within 6 months, Prabhu, 6 months, eh?
I would say 9 months.
9 months.
But 6 months alone.
6 months alone trying to preach Krishna consciousness and having the police force giving him so much of challenges, and then he was escorted to the airport and out of South Africa because of his preaching. So we are all eternally grateful for everything that you have done for Krishna consciousness right here in South Africa. And we look forward to an amazing class by Prabhu. So let's give him another round of applause.
Hare Krishna. Is that working? Can you hear me now? That's not exported, it's deported. Export is when you put yourself out. Deported is when they do it for you. Yeah, it was so bad that of the choices, the choice of being deported was better than the choice of going to prison. So out I went. But that's not the start of it. Things have changed. Before I was enormously hiding from the police. Now I brought one with me. Patrick Scotland as our police force. He said he doesn't lose any sleep, that the crime will go away and he'll be out of the job. Isn't that optimistic of him? Did someone get that? Is this not working? You got a choice of colors here? Maybe let's see here. Is that working better? Does it work better to stick from red than from blue? Yeah. Anybody can hear me? Raise your hand. Anybody who can hear me, raise your hand. Okay. Anybody who's not here tonight, raise your hand. Okay. Just want to make sure you're listening. So shall I tell something about how it was different then and how it's the same? You hear that? Yes? Okay. Well, starting with life in the material world, it's always What's that happening? Is that like because I'm going through a glimpse in the past? Okay. was like going to a glimpse in the past. A couple of years ago. Was anybody here at the Free Run Enough on Sunday the 5th? Who was here? That was when they celebrated, that was 55 years when I've been in Krishna consciousness. I had to start early because I'm not such a great devotee, so I have to start, like when they have a boat race, they start the slow boats first, because it's the amount of time. But the idea is that we're all doing this together. Although when I was here alone, I was doing it alone. But I didn't feel like I was doing it alone. I felt like Prabhupada and the whole movement were behind me. And that's the way we should feel. You see quite often my godbrothers are always willing to help each other out and help their disciples and the new devotees out. Does anybody notice that?
Yes.
Why does that happen? Is that by chance? Somehow that it was because Prabhupada did this. Prabhupada went to America. He went on the cruise liner, the luxury liner, to America, and when he got off, they met him there and took him to the temple.
No.
Is that it? No, he went on a cruise ship. He went down swimming in the ocean and we saw him. And not the cruise ship, cargo ship. Because sometimes people go, they take a ship and they go here from Mozambique or Cape Town. There was a group that got stranded. They told their relatives back home they got shipwrecked. It sounds more exciting. But they weren't on a cargo ship, they were on a cruise ship, right? That's different. And the people here, when they go to Mozambique or Cape Town, do they go on the cargo ship? What goes on the cargo ship? Oil, grains, any kind of cargo, right? They don't advertise that. Go on the cargo ship, go with all the cargo. Sleep with the clothing and the appliances, do they? No, it doesn't sound so exciting. So Prabhupada went alone to America because he had a mission. And how did he get the first devotees started? He went and showed the example himself. It's nice when we have a big temple. Just like I was saying to that people, when I said that I was here alone, they came to start a temple. They said, "Oh, did you go to the Sri Radharanath temple?" I said, "No, just because here, now people just go to the temple and you wait for them to open the curtains and you can see the deity, right? And sometimes you think it's a little difficult because there might be crime. And they did a survey of a bunch of countries about driving abilities in South Africa was worse. Does that surprise anyone?
No.
I told a few people here, I said, have you seen the taxis that drive safely? They look at me like I'm from another planet and say no. But we did see one that was driving safely, actually signaled by the side of the road. I did see it once. I should have taken a picture so someone would believe it. But people don't believe things that they don't experience. And this is the same in the Krishna consciousness. When I was in India in the early 70s, I told some of the kids there that in America we have a road called the freeway. And on that freeway we drive 100 kilometers an hour and they don't allow bicycles or animals to cross traffic. And he yelled for his friends, he said, "Hey, listen to the story this American made up about this road in America that doesn't allow cows and cross traffic and bicycles." I said, "No, it's true." He said, "Just admit it's not true. We don't believe you. Just admit it and get railroad." They didn't believe it. Is such a road possible?
Yes.
I think I drove on one like that today, didn't I? Did I drive on one like that today? No, I didn't. I rode on one like that today. I didn't drive on it, but I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. So it's the same with spiritual life, because people haven't experienced it. Anyway, Arya did such a nice kirtan, the whole room lit up. And that reminded me of another thing that people didn't believe in. J.P. Morgan, an investor, was working with Thomas Edison on 2 new technologies. And his father told him, "You know what, this is just a circus show. No one will ever use it, and you're a stupid child to to put any time or money into this. Does anyone know what the two technologies were? Which one? Light bulb and what else? Electric wiring. Is that being used somewhere?
Yes.
How about right here? Is this the only place?
No.
But because it hadn't been used before, that means it's not possible? Must be possible. If we're using it, that proves it's possible, doesn't it? But people don't believe it. Anybody here have a cell phone? If people say that if you can't see something, it doesn't exist. Can you see the microwave that goes in the phone? Therefore, your phone doesn't work. Might as well throw it out, right? Oh, or you better sing again. It got dark. Oh! It doesn't mean that. Just because we haven't experienced it doesn't mean that it's not real. And the same with spiritual life. They say, well, the changing doesn't work. Have you tried it? No. Well, then how would you know it didn't work? Somebody asked, can you see God? Can you show me God? What is the answer? Yes. But you have to be willing to do the proper experiment. What if you tell me there's an ocean down there? I don't believe it. Bring it here. You didn't bring it? Therefore it doesn't exist. It must be there. But what didn't exist when I was here in Namahatta? Well, there was no one here except for me and the African boy taking care of that property, the one next door. It was down below. We looked for that house, but it looks like they tore it down and built a bunch of condos there. Here we call condos and apartments here. But apartment is when someone owns a building and they rent out all of it. It's a condominium is when they sell each unit separately. And sometimes those people will rent it out to the public. That's the difference. But here they sometimes don't distinguish, but that's the difference. So most of those ones along the beach are condominiums. They're not apartments where you can go and rent. There's a few who saw bed and breakfast. Maybe that was in Shloki, spelled with a D. How did a D kind of been in Shloki? I don't believe it. But it must be true because I saw the sign, right? But it doesn't sound believable. So the same thing, if people aren't willing to experiment with chanting Krishna's name, then they won't think that it's real. So should I tell a little bit about the old days in Lamasi? When I was living there, who did I tell I was living there? Who? No one. I was hiding. Because I was a criminal. I was here illegally. Because first, we applied for our visas to South Africa under the religious visa, and they refused us. But we were told in Nairobi, because we went to Nairobi, and in Nairobi, you can't mail letters to South Africa. You couldn't then, and vice versa. If the people in Nairobi want to mail a letter here, they have to mail it to relatives in London, asking to repackage it, send it to South Africa, and then return had to be the same way, so mail didn't come quicker. They didn't just send a message. Of course, if there was email, then the two countries would have blocked each other. So you wouldn't have been able to get it, because they didn't recognize each other. That's why you got a visa for South Africa on a separate piece of paper. When you were done, you could just take it out. So, what's happening there? So we sent to London from Nairobi to get a tourist visa. And we got the tourist visas, and we came all dressed in Western clothes and a suit and a tie and a hat. And I'm changing to these pictures. And I got letters from people in Nairobi. How late should I speak till? 10:45? What is it? 8:02? What time is good?
So about 20 past
20 past, okay. That would be in America, we call it 20 after. Here it's 20 after. Either way, the clock says the same thing, right? So, we had letters to meet people, but they didn't know we were coming, asking them to help. which of course would be illegal because, white people couldn't stay in the Indian area. What we're doing now would be a crime, which was amazing because they said that you couldn't mix different races together. And when they arrested me, I said, oh, so I can only associate with Caucasians? He says, yes. I said, oh, so Europeans and Indians? He says, no, only Caucasians. I said, but the dictionary says that Indians are considered Caucasians. Well, we don't accept it that way. Well, how am I supposed to know that? So they would change the rules to benefit themselves. Now they sort of classify Indians as Asians, along with the Chinese. But if you look at features of Indians, they're more like Europeans than they are like Chinese, aren't they? Anybody here learn Chinese? Nobody? But we don't think we're the bodies anyway. That's not the point. That was also illegal to say. When I told them that our philosophy is we're not white, Indian, or black, they said your philosophy violates our national security. So, one man, Indian man, walked up and he said, where did you get those pictures of Krishna? And I said, I'm on my way to start a temple in South Africa. I said, I have letters to meet certain people. Take a look and see if you know any of these people. He looked through, and in the third letter, he said, this is my father-in-law, Mr. T.P. Gamshi in Germany. He looked through two more. He says, this is me, Mr. Arvind Koko. He says, you have a letter asking me to help you. He says, come visit me tomorrow. And back then, the rand was worth like 30 times what it is now. Back then, the rand was like $1.20. It went to $1.50. So we were making our life membership 111 rand, which would now like be 2,222. What is the life membership now? We don't really don't do it as much. It was a good way we were doing it in India, but he became a life member the next day. So we were on the plane, and there was one Swami who had impersonalist ideas, and we had seen him in a program in Mumbai. So he says, well, come and stay with me and come to our ashram in Johannesburg. And I stayed with the European family. So we went there, and we went to his ashram, and he said, I've realized in my travels around the world that you have to travel around the world because the world is round. Then he said, there is a lie in belief. B-E-L-I-E-F-E. There is a lie in belief. Just spell it. B-E-L-I-E-F-E. There is a lie in belief. And he said, hell is simply shell with the S removed. So this was good word juggling. And we went back to his house, and at this time, Vijay Kumar Swami was still here. And he put the daughter on his lap. And Vijay Kumar said that, you're a Swami, you can't put the daughter on your lap. And he says, well, sometimes the young girls like to sit on a man's lap. He said, yeah, but she's 17. She's too old to be a girl, but she's too young to be an adult. That's like a perfect wrong age, isn't it? If she was 25 and you're not a sannyasi, maybe it's okay, or if she's 2, but not at that age. So, Prabhupada trained us to practice these principles correctly. Now, fortunately, Prabhupada showed from the Vedic system that we have different things that we can do. It's good that when we have priests who are sannyasis or brahmacharis. The Catholic Church, all of the priests have to be unmarried, right? But when Pope Gregory, who was Alexander Borgia, was the Pope, he actually had illegitimate children, and so they started the Protestant. Martin Luther said, this is a farce. They had a celebration for the 1500-year anniversary of the birth of Christ. And the people did all kinds of debauched things, because if the leader can't follow, how can the followers follow? Isn't it true? You're going to follow someone, they need to be following themselves. So they did debauched things. So Martin Luther said that in the Protestants, all the priests have to be married. So in Krishna consciousness, do they have to be married or unmarried? Which is it? Do we have people who can give talks who are married?
Yes.
But they all have to be married? Do we have people who are brahmacharis and sannyasis give talks? But they all have to be that? People can start as brahmacharis, and if they feel the need to get married, they can get married. And then they can take sannyas, if they're ready to take sannyas. But they can't be a sannyasi and a householder at the same time. This is schizophrenic is not against the principles. So this is why we have someone like Prabhupada who was a perfect householder, and then when he became a sannyasi, he was always very fair to the women and engaged them, but he never spent time alone with them. We see some people have come from India or others that spend time with them. If they're going to do that, they should be a proper household. So this is why we were able to do things, because Prabhupada himself came, and he went to America with no money and no help. We were reading today in the Prabhupada Human Return about how Prabhupada had them stay just in a few places because the traveling was harder than the devotees. These are people in their 20s, and he was in his 70s. But Prabhupada stayed in random places in Vrindavan, and then went to America, had to stay in the Bowery, which is like the lower east side, means like the area that's like the worst area of New York. He stayed there. He didn't come to stay in the uptown to preach to the rich people. He wanted to actually make people into devotees, to show them by example how to do the things. Prabhupada showed the people how to cook, how to clean, how to do accounting. They started out, they had a big drawer, and the collection would go in the drawer, and then when you spend it, you take it out. Prabhupada says, no, you have to account it. 2,000 rand comes in, you got 2,000 out. Rand. You subtract 2,000, now it's 1,000. You add 3, now it's 4. You subtract 2, now it's 1. Add another 1, it's 4. And you keep track of the monies coming in and going out, which is good when you train that, because many governments, particularly like India, are strict on what is coming in and what is going out. And that's a good thing to do. And when they watch the accounting very careful, because you need to know where you stand. What is the income, what is the expense? Simply, we need to know spiritually. What is it we're doing and what are our risks? And so we find Prabhupada taught us how to do these things. And that's why we were encouraged to come and start something in South Africa. Because Prabhupada had been doing this all over the world. He went to New York and started on his own. Then he went to San Francisco. He was chanting in the Golden Gate Park at the Hippie Hill. And the people came there. He'd just go there with the drum and chant. And people would come to hear what he was doing. And he would chant there for hours. And we see that others had not done this before. So, we were staying in Johannesburg. We found there was one Judy by Patel. We had a letter to meet him. And of course, people had no idea. There's why I said, Johnny Krishna. I was wondering where you were, where have you been? So, we went to stay at his house. And in his house, he was a wholesale vegetable merchant. He would buy the vegetables from the farms, and then he would sell it to the different markets, count the money, and take it to the bank. Well, somebody figured the money must still be there, because one day, 5 of them came with guns. 4 came with guns, 1 with a crowbar. The one with the gun in my hand said, "Get under the bed." So I'm changing very carefully, make the last round count, right? So, the one with the crowbar said, "Shoot him." The one with the gun said, "No, we don't need to shoot him." The other one said, "No, we don't need witnesses, just shoot him." And I'm thinking, even if he's not a good aim, the gun is in my head. He doesn't have to aim it, I can feel the metal against my head. So, Judy Bai was away, but his wife was there. He had like 3 rooms all facing the street. This was Sportsburg. So, he said, "Where's the safe?" She goes, "In here," but she moved the carpet away from the door. we had a night out. I said, where's the key? He said, oh, my husband has it in the top drawer in the office in the other room. So they went to get the key. She shut the door and locked it and went to the window and yelled, chore, 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 and the street filled with people. I thought some riot was going on because we just arrived in South Africa. So then Treaty Pine Patel took us to Durban, and we went to Don Chikara's house. And he and his brothers had several sari shops, and his son Ashford lived with him. And they had the boat at Alcara on 201 Gray Street. So we stayed there a little bit, but then they were a little nervous. We ordered books from the BBT. We got $15,000 worth of books. And we were going to this stupid thing like at Reservoir Hills and Overport because we needed to collect some money. So they put us in a little place it was near the Muslim butcher shop. You could hear them cutting the bows. So then they needed that room, so we stayed in Mr. Mystery had a building there, and we stayed outside the library on the porch outside of D.P. Desai's house. So then we had the letter for Nuggingson, who was at 131A Prince Edward Street, and his son Chumpuk was away. Chumpuk was a real good getter. And Chumpuk came back and said, where are you staying? I said, here. He said, in the house? I said, no, here on the balcony. He said, oh, you know what, we have a beach house in Palmerston. And we only come out sometimes. He says, you can stay in the bottom room, or we stay in all the top rooms. So we went to stay there. So it was a good place to stay because my parents came to visit and they got us a car and we drove to Johannesburg. And it was funny, you'd see lions on the road that were running out of gas. And I thought, okay, you boys get on those beats and start chanting. We come over the hill and there's like a hotel and resort and we come in and the ladies are like at the buffet. In South Africa could be like that. And you could be in an African township and then you go in the total wilderness jungle and then you pull up to a place where people are at the hotel, like at the buffet, filling their plates with, it just seems so strange. It's like that now, but it was even more like that then. So we went to renew our visas because you get the visa it's good for a year, but you have to renew it every 3 months. So we were there at the counter, and these 3 guys, about 2 meters tall each, came and said, you're coming with us to the 12th floor. So I told my mother, I know where they're taking us. Go out to the street and keep waiting. So they said, so you think you can fly? If we throw you out the window, you'll be able to fly, won't you? So I go to the window, I'm waiting, and said, why are you waiting? I said, my mother's an attorney from Los Angeles, and she's down there waiting back. It might be a bad political move to throw me out the window with her watching. What do you think? And he said, oh, you haven't come up. And she chastised them and said, why are you harassing them? They're just trying to preach this philosophy. They said, well, we won't arrest them and they have to leave the country. So we knew if we went to Mozambique and came back, they would stamp us in. So they stamped us in. But one day in Ramercy, because we were going through this kind of difficulty, and it's hard getting something started. We didn't go to Shrewsbury Radha House and go to see the beauties because that didn't come until 1985. We came to plant the seed to get people started in idea of Krishna consciousness, not to go wait till the temple was built and then we would go there. So one day I woke up and I couldn't find Rishi Kumar anywhere. There's a little deer shooting decided to split. So I'm thinking, I thought, oh, this is terrible. He left me here alone, and he's the sannyasi. I'm just a brahmachari assistant. So I got frustrated and I left the country if Krishna consciousness never got started here. Was that the story? No, I'm amazed because Prabhupada had sent us there to do it. I knew that because he had left. Plus we have books. It's like if you get to take over a temple now, you get the assets that are there. If the building is gone and they owe a debt, what do you get? You get the debt, right? So I knew that it would be very hard if I just left, no one else was going to want to come and take over and start from scratch, because I made some contacts, and we would go to the different Hindu samajas and give talks there, and people would come and chant with us. So I knew I had to stay on, so I wrote to Prabhupada that I was going to make incense sticks to sell along with the books and put them in a few shops, and I would order more kitas, even though I'm in debt. I'll tell the people they can't have the bundle of kita unless they buy the whole set. I had 2 sets, which in today's brands would be like the 700 brand set and the 1100 brand set. And I would put them on the table, and I would explain the first group, and then I'd show the other 2 on the other side, and I'd say, do you want the whole? Now, of course, I'm giving it by today's rate, but the old rate is a lot less. I said, do you want the 1100 brand set or the 700? And I wouldn't say anything until we buy it. So, Rishi Kumar was gone, and I wrote to Prabhupada, and I thought, maybe I'm in trouble for all the choices I made. But at that time in Namahatta, there was a whole development up here, and there was always stuff at the beach. The only thing at the beach was me. And there was a man taking care of the property we lived. And next door was just a farm there was nothing out there. Now look at all those condos down there, and then you've got some big houses up here. And so big people must get lost inside them, right? So I was there alone, and I thought, maybe I'm in trouble for all the choices I made. And back then you type the letters. Everybody seen the typewriter? You know what it is, right? We're lucky to have those and not have to handwrite letters. But I put the carbon copy and I sent the letter to Prabhupada. And I sent 1 copy to Ramananda in Nairobi, 1 to Korea in Los Angeles. And I explained what had happened. And the letter came back from Prabhupada first. And Chandrasekhar told me later he was to open up all the letters. And Prabhupada said, Chandrasekhar said, Prabhupada, the letter has just come from Shubdas in South Africa that Rishi Kumar left him all alone and took the $2,000 they collected with him. He said, Prabhupada's eyes got really big and said, we'll immediately dictate a letter and you immediately type it and immediately take it to the post office and we'll deal with the rest of the mail later. So the letter came back. I'm wondering if I'm in trouble. I opened it up and the first line said, I'm very much pleased at the responsibility you've taken to spread Krishna consciousness in South Africa at such a young age. So I said, well, that means I'm not in trouble. And that's the whole idea, is that we don't base our decisions on, is this convenient or is it inconvenient? You know, if you have a job somewhere, the boss doesn't say, come to work today if it's convenient, otherwise if it's inconvenient, don't worry. Do they say that? They don't say that, do they? So we can't say, well, it's inconvenient to deal with this, to deal with the apartheid government, to deal with the fact, because the white police would go out or the army would go out and sometimes we shoot 1,000 blacks if they were demonstrating. And so being a white in a non-white country was also dangerous. They said there was no crime there, but how come we got robbed at gunpoint when there was no crime? They must have been wrong. They know I wasn't wrong. I know it actually happened. I could feel the gun in my head. It wasn't fake. It wasn't plastic. It was metal. So I was there all alone to do this. And Prabhupada said, I'm praying to Krishna that you'll have the strength and enthusiasm to carry out this mission. So what I did is I tried to make friends with people and make contacts. I would knock on doors and people would look up the street. I said, what are you looking for? They said, well, your parents are here, aren't they? I said, no. They said, they're coming to get you, aren't they? I said, no, I'm here alone. They said, how? They said, but you said we are going to open the temple. Who's we? I said, you and me, because this is your country, and this Vedic culture is your culture. So I didn't think it. It's their job to do it. So now today, you're doing it because, you know, it's part of the culture that you grew up in, but more than that, it's valuable, right? It's just like in South Africa, gold is part of your culture. So if someone was giving you a kilo of gold, you would take it, right? But I wouldn't take it because it's not a part of our culture. Would you take it anyway? Even if it's not part of your culture? What if someone gave you $1 million? Would you say, I don't want that because our money is man? It's not our culture. Is that what you would say? Or is it more important that you get something of value? Prabhupada says that in some lectures. As you go to the doctor, are you a Hindu doctor? Or a Jewish doctor? Or a Muslim doctor? You ask what kind of degree they have, what kind of qualification that they have. And so our only qualification was that we were represented through Prabhupada. It's just like the mailman. They come to deliver a letter. But that doesn't happen that much now, does it? I don't think it does, because I asked at the temple in Chatsworth what color uniform the mailmen wear, and nobody could tell me. That means they don't come often. Anybody had mail delivered recently? What happens to it? Is what?
It just gets delivered to post boxes.
Post boxes, yes. So mail gets delivered somewhere. So what color do the postmen wear?
I last one in light blue.
Light blue, okay. But you don't see that. You have to memory it. Maybe they show it on the History Channel on TV or something. See, this is the theory they have. They don't believe that the Vedic culture, that there was more advanced things. Because things can't go backwards, right? Like if they were delivering mail before, and if there was always electricity, that means there'll always be electricity and they'll always deliver mail to the house. Does it mean that? Must not mean it because it's not happening, right? You know, you look at India running water 5,000 years ago, and 2,500 years ago, Greece and Rome had it. But 1,000 years ago, in the Dark Ages, no one had it. So things can go backwards. And if we think things can't go backwards, it's just like if you think, oh, I'm making plenty of money, I can't go broke. Does that increase your chance of going broke or decrease it? It increases it, doesn't it? If you think, I need to watch my income expenses, like Prabhupada said to the accountant. There's sports people in America who would make $20 million a year, which is what, 400 million rand a year, and they were spending 500 million rand. So if you make 400 million rand a year, but you spend 500 million, you're still in trouble, aren't you? Doesn't matter what you make, if you're spending more than that, you're in trouble. So we need to know where we stand spiritually. We need to account for our spiritual and material life. And we need to take this enthusiasm that came from Lord Chaitanya to Prabhupada and came to his disciples, and now carry that to other people. We may not start a whole new temple, but at least when we meet new people, we can ask them to come to our Namahatta, come to the temple. We give them, we don't call it a card, we call it an invitation. Because sometimes people wonder, oh, am I allowed to go to that temple? But if you give them an invitation and invite them, right? If you hear someone's having a party, you wonder if you can go or not. But if they give you an invitation, that means you can go, right? So we call those invitations. And it's good to keep a few with you. To say, you know, we invite certain people to come, and we invited you personally. And we have to know. Prabhupada uses the cases in English because you need different cases at different times. Like we serve Krishna in the dative case, which we don't use in English. Dative case is I bring food for you, I do service for you, it's what we do for someone else. But somehow we don't use that. So we deal with Krishna in that case. You don't go to Krishna asking what Krishna can do for you. It's what service you can do for Krishna. And with certain things, we deal with the objective case. Like if someone lights a cigarette, you say, I'm sorry, smoking is not allowed here. The nominative case would be, hey, you can't smoke. But if you're telling someone to come to the temple, you don't say, we're inviting people, objective. You use the nominative, say, I would like to invite you to come. So we do that with the Namahatta at the temple. It's nominative, just for them. So we have to know what some of these terms in English mean. And it's simple, like I was telling people about what's the difference between mortology and ontology.
The mortology means the form, and the ontology is the content, right? Someone may be dressed in a dhoti. Does that mean they're a great devotee? Someone be dressed in a dhoti. Does that mean they can't be a dentist? Someone may be dressed in pants. Does that mean they can't be a devotee? No. It's the content that's important, right? So you find someone here in a dhoti who is a dentist. Someone else may go to work and they're wearing pants. So it's the content that's important. Prabhupada said one of his godbrothers had cerebral palsy and his hand would shake so good hand and he that looks like he's chanting, right? So that's mortology, the form. We're interested in the content. It looks like we have some questions here. Let's see what they are. Why is it that so many devotees are more advanced than me? That's because they've surrendered more. Okay, well, I can really say that. How can we overcome worry? Somebody once told me that they were worrying about something and it didn't happen. So that means they worried it better, right? See, worry works. Does that mean it works? Or it means they wasted their time? What I find is a good thing is that you put it in Krishna's hands. Krishna says, Sarvadama Pradiptaja, Mami Kam Sarvanam Vraja, Mamcham Sarvabhavyam, Mukshayasami Masu Chala. That you surrender to me, I will free you from all sinful reactions. Some things, we worry about the little things. But big things quite often we don't worry about. Like right now, the Earth is rotating at 150 million kilometers away from the sun. Which would be bad if it went to only 100 million kilometers or went to 200? Which of those is bad? Both. So are you doing anything to make sure it doesn't happen? Is that a big deal? It is. But Krishna has it arranged so it won't happen. Just because we're not worried about it doesn't mean it's not a big deal. And just because you worry about something doesn't mean it is a big deal. So sometimes what I do is you write down what the problem is and you put it in front of your deities or Krishna and you say, Krishna, this is for you to deal with. Right? Because after all, you could be crossing the street and get hit by a truck. Or the thieves had the gun in my head and I didn't get shot. So, and when we know we're the soul, what does the future vision of this kind look like? The future is cooperation. Prabhupada said we will show our love for each other by how willing we are to cooperate. It's funny, we're supposed to know how to work with the people who are directing us and how to be responsible to do things like bring people to the temple. When they're at the temple, you meet new people and talk to them. But it's funny, I find some people they want to argue with everything and everything should be done differently. But when it's their chance to try to engage people and talk to them, well, they don't want to do that. So we have to know what things that we can do and how we cooperate with people. I always say that if devotees in a certain place are doing it a little differently than I would do it, but it's bona fide and they're encouraged, I encourage them to do that. So what we have to do is work on a worldwide basis, study these books, get these books in people's hands, and figure out how to open it up to the whole population. The other thing is we need to create some farm communities. Because the things you grow organic on your own farm and you pick them in time, those come out so much better than the stuff you buy from the market. It's amazing the difference. But somehow South Africa is not behind anybody else. How come whites are so cooperative to create amazing industries, countries, and organizations? I guess they feel like they're entitled to do it. But don't other people do that too? Maybe they mean in this country? We'll come back to that. Number 4, generally every day I give grains to the birds. During Ekadasi, can I still give grains to the birds? I don't think birds are required to follow Ekadasi. Sometimes like we went to the beach I was very careful not to swallow any sand because the grain of sand would break the conversation. Anybody teach birds to follow a constant? Your kid watching birds and explain to them. You do that with monkeys, explain to them. I said, for example, when he turns the water on and he's drinking it, I said, you're going to turn that off, aren't you? It looks at me funny. I did train one, you know, he like, off, it looks at me. And he turns it off, he actually did it. But don't depend on it. So who's worried about birds? Anybody have some special birds? The birds come up to the window at the tree temple, and the minor birds sometimes try to like repeat the verse. Because some of these birds can be taught how to talk to her. Hare Krishna Grace is it plans to build more temples in South Africa? Be surprised. Well, we already have a good amount of temples here. And the main thing is that we spread Krishna consciousness. You look like in the Joburg area, they have about 9 different projects. They have Lenasia and Santon and Midrand and Pretoria and Hammanskraal and these are African ones, Hammanskraal and Monkey King and Clarence. I thought it was Clarkstown, but how do you say it? Flagstaff, is that it? Flagstaff? So, and then there's one in Soweto, and so we have many going on, and we have several here. But the main thing is to bring Krishna consciousness. We can have the Namahatta here in Lammercy, can't we? It must be possible because they're doing it. So the main thing is we get together. And is it good to have big groups or small groups? Both. Because in the big temple we can always get together. But smaller groups are good because then people should be able to open up to each other. The idea is that we're here to help people. If somebody has a problem, you keep that confidential. People should reveal their mind confidentially, and we help them. We don't go to Facebook and make it look worse than it really is. Right? We try to be helpful to the person. A lot of somebody's giving me a class and says, how should we deal with people? He said, the first premise is how can we be helpful? So, you know, they have plans to make a hall at the bottom of the retreat out around in that temple and use it for weddings and serve prasadam there and make the restaurant bigger. But one thing they don't do that is money that comes in now is maintenance. And if you take the maintenance money to expand, and then there isn't enough money to maintain, then you're in trouble. So money has to come in particularly for that. If the money's coming in just to maintain what they have, to risk that under the plea of expanding would be a problem. It looks like an asset. Like right now, let's say the temple runs very close trying to worry about the income and expense. But as far as assets and liability, they do well because they own huge properties, but they don't have much debt. Now what you could do is borrow a huge amount against that, build another building, borrow a huge amount against that, and then buy something else. But then if something goes wrong in one place, they all come down like dominoes. So it's easier to adjust the income and expenses than the asset to liability, because if you owe a large amount of money, you have to come up with that or you lose the property. So in one sense, it's more important to maintain what you have unless money comes to build extra things. If it's going to risk what you have already, it's better to maintain what you have. And of course, then the thing we do is we need to make more devotees and happier devotees. Because there's no point creating a facility if you don't have people to fill it. The facility is there for the people. Okay. Everybody, please tell us the most part about women during your journey in this time. That is the right. Boy, there's so many things that I can think of. We initiated from California. having Prabhupada write to me. Just seeing the deities in places like Radha Sundar in Vrindavan and Radha in Mayapur and Sri Radha Radhanath here in Durban and Jagannath Subhadra Balaram could be a heartfelt experience. But remembering how Prabhupada dealt with me, how I went into Prabhupada's room and the bombs had been before. They were dropping bombs the night before while I was doing arti. That wasn't convenient either, so I flew back to America and didn't stay there and didn't come here. Is that the story? It's not convenient to have bombs dropping on you, right? Like if the thieves come and put a gun, you say it's inconvenient and they leave. No. The whole material world's sort of inconvenient, isn't it? So, I went to Prabhupada's room the next day, and I was in anxiety. I was doing the artik, and I could see bombs dropping because there was a big window behind the altar, and like the Shiva saw, but there was a window, and you could see the ocean out there. They were dropping bombs right there out of planes, and I thought, I'm in the middle. I'm doing artik during the bombing raid. And so the next day I went into Prabhupada's room, and I was in anxiety, and Prabhupada looked up. I would give him the water and the flour from the arti, and Prabhupada stopped me to do it. So just a minute, he looked up at me and said, so everything is all right? And just like that, the anxiety went away. So when we realize that Prabhupada can take away the anxieties, Prabhupada can take away the problems, we just have to be willing to surrender, at least a little bit. So I think that covers most of them, but no, Prabhupada, but you want to say whites doesn't, but we don't just go by whites. There's amazing people who can do things. Prabhupada came to America, he came to South Africa. Bhakti True Swami came here, and he's an Indian. We have devotees like Narottam, who's in, say it again? Say it louder, because I can't say it correctly. Did you hear that? Flagstaff? Flagstaff. Okay, I got it. So, and Savyasachi, he has a program. He has a bunch of college students come to this place near Johannesburg. The program starts at 5. About 3:45, about 20 show up, and they help him and want to talk. The program goes on till 7. People stay till 8:45, 9:30. You know, they want to stay and learn things and help out because they're encouraged by it. So we have people who are Indians, whites, and blacks who are doing amazing things. Now each of us has to do something that's amazing. Even if it's just meeting a few new people and asking them to come. Because the idea is we're always trying to help new people. The new people, if somebody comes to the temple alone, if you neglect them, they really feel neglected. But the fact that they came alone means that they weren't going to wait. I know people who in America sometimes they say, hey, I'd like to go to that temple, will you take me there or meet me there? But someone who really wants to know, they don't worry, they just show up. If someone shows up alone, or even a couple shows up alone, they're your best contact. There was one couple that came, the man was, I think he was an Afrikaner, and the woman was Indian, and they came, and after the feast we talked. They stayed till after 4 o'clock to talk. That's afternoon, not all the way to the morning time. But we get that in Laguna Beach, that people will stay for hours to talk. And you have to be available to talk to them. Just like if you're making a sale, look, that's the lunch bell, sorry, right? Like this is some of the workers, when the lunch bell goes off, they don't even throw it there, they're shuffling, they just drop it and run to the lunch. So if we see people who we can talk to, someone new, sometimes they just need a friend. You meet someone in the temple the first time, the best goal is a simple goal. Like let them know you can be a friend, and make them feel like they want to come back again to the temple next time. And then if they do, that's a good success, rather than trying to explain to them how you know the correct philosophy and they don't. So we have to be trying to expand this to other people. Because the idea is we need more people, not more temples. And then if we get more people, there may be need for more temples. But we also need to bring more Indians, and we need to expand to the other communities. And we need to create people in those communities to do it. Because quite often you go to an African township, they don't want to have an Indian explain, they think it's just an Indian thing. And it's similar to what Indians do. But not every Indian is a perfect representative of Krishna consciousness. Did you notice that? You did? I thought I was the only one to notice that. No, so that's what they think. They think, oh, that's an Indian religion, you're just like the average Indian off the street. Like you go to the Chatsworth Mall, many people there don't look like they represent a perfect example of Krishna consciousness, do they? Is it true? So even though this philosophy is in India, we have to show people the real value. Just like the gold, we don't present it as a South African thing. Oh, I don't want it then. We present it on its own value. So do they take too much time? They go over? Shall we stop there? I hope that gave you some idea. I love these different colored bikes. You got yellow, red, and
South Africa is a rainbow nation after all, so mics have to be in different colors too. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Let's give Prabhu another round of applause. And as Shri Prabhu was explaining, he has a very close and personal connection to Namaste, because when he first came to South Africa, he was right here in Namaste. So we are so fortunate to have him here with us once again. So thank you so much, Prabhu. And as Prabhu was saying when he first started his class, on Sunday we celebrated 55 years that Prabhu is in ISKCON. Wow, what a milestone. 55 years! Very good. And on Sunday I was at the Sunday Lovelies program, and I had got myself a copy of Bhagavad Gita that Shri Prabhu had signed. And I thought that it would be nice to bring it along and give someone the opportunity to have this copy of Bhagavad Gita that is signed by Shri Prabhu, and he will personally hand it to you as well. So is there anybody here that would like this copy of Bhagavad Gita? Please don't feel shy, you can raise your hands. Just one copy though. Okay, Hare Krishna. Yes, come to Prabhu.
what is your name? Naveen. There. Now, where does that go on yourself, or do you read it? Read it, yes. You don't ask the book to read itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Speak a few words.
Thank you once again, Prabhu, for sharing such amazing stories with us. And it was so heartwarming to hear Prabhu's journey in Krishna consciousness. So I do have a few announcements, and before I get to that, perhaps for those that have joined late, welcome and thank you for being here with us for our very first Namahatta program for 2025. We have a very exciting year lined up, so please do join us. Even our devotees that are here from far and wide, like Peensborough and surrounding areas, I'm sure I'll see you all at the next Namahatta program. Let's make it an ongoing thing. No pressure. But we have your numbers, we'll keep phoning. No. Thank you so much. We appreciate that you're here with us. And we do look forward to your coming to our future programs as well. On Sunday is Food for Life. Please do join us. We look forward to having as many devotees here with us. We will be preparing biryani here, cooking them, packing them, and distributing them. And we always require assistance for our Food for Life program. Next week, Saturday, that is the 19th of January, next week, Sunday, the 19th of January, is our Java walk. His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami will be joining us at the Amshlanga Promenade. So we look forward to everybody coming. Please join us. It starts at 6 a.m. and we're going to have a lovely jumper walk on the beach. So please come along, join us. We look forward to everyone's association, and we will have Miraj with us, so it's really going to be an amazing morning. The next Saturday, that is the 25th of January, I'm sure many of y'all would have seen on social media, it is the Richards Bay Rath Yatra, and it is the very first Rath Yatra. So we would like everybody to come through, avail yourselves for this. Mahaprasad Prabhu and Madhurya Mataji have arranged 2 buses. They are fully booked. So we are going with as many devotees as possible. If you all have booked your spaces, we look forward to seeing you all on the 25th. And if you all haven't, please try to come along so that we can still have your association in Richards Bay on the 24th of January. So we have a very exciting month ahead of us. As you all will know, our Mercy Namahatta has a program every alternate Friday. So if we had one today being the 10th of January, the next one was supposed to be on the 24th of January. But as part of my announcement about the 24th being the Richards Bay Rath Yatra, we will be planning for that with a bus trip, and it's going to be a little bit hectic. So our next Namahatta will not be on the 24th of January, but it will be on the 31st of January. So it will be the Friday after that. So please keep that in mind. Our next Namahatta is on the 31st of January. Nirasha Mataji, who is part of our Namahatta, has lost her brother recently, and her other brother also experienced difficulty with his health. He's had his leg amputated. So humble request from us to all our devotees, please pray for him for his speedy recovery and chant an extra round for Nirasha Mataji's brother. Today is Ekadasi, and as usual, as we're starting our Namahatta program, we have birthdays. But due to the fact that it is Ekadasi, we did not whoop up those delicious cakes that we normally come up with, but we will call our birthday boy forward. Can Rivash Prabhu please come to the front? It was his birthday this week. We don't have the usual cake, but we have our amazing association. We have Kaneya, who is such a talented vocalist. We have our Kirtan senior, Radhanath, Prahlad, and we all can still sing and wish him all the best in his Krishna consciousness and wish him a blessed year as well. So Rivash Prabhu, on behalf of all of us, a very, very happy birthday to you. Thank you for everything that you do at our Namahatta, and we wish you well in your Krishna consciousness. So we're going to sing for you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody go Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
going to say a few words, so I'll hand over to Nivash Prabhu.
So thank you for that gesture. Much appreciated. And yeah, just wishing everyone a blessed 2025. I think we all have to be equipoised. I think we'll take the good and the bad in our stride. Our flock is going to chant for people. And whilst there may be no birthday cake, but I think priceless is the chanting of the congregational holy name. And I think that's the best gift that I have to you and the association of our Starlords speaker. So thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Nivash Prabhu. So we've come to the end of our program. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for being here, our devotees that have come from surrounding areas. Thank you so much for spending our very first Namahatta program with us. And I'd like to thank our cooking team for preparing delicious prasad that awaits us after the program. His Grace Ajay Rishi Prabhu will perform Aarti for us. And we have our very talented Kanhaiya here that will lead us into Kirtan along with our amazing Kirtan team. Thank you once again to each and every one of you, and we look forward to seeing everybody next week on the 19th, next week Sunday, for the Japa Walk. And thank you once again to His Grace Shadi Prabhu for an amazing talk. Hare Krishna, please may we all rise.
जय जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय गुरुदेव की जय बोले मनासे नमो विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति राम Everybody all together. Krishna
Hare
Is divine grace in the AC back to the Son of God, by King. Austerities of the free human. Is divine grace in the Baptist and the Sirs of the Prabhupada, Practical Device of the Niki, Namacharya, Shilaridas, the Gorki, Principal, Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vindiki, Sri Radhanath Ki, Jagannath Subhadra Balaram Ki, Ramani Ki, Gurgamani Ki, Tulsi Devi Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, all glories to the Son of the devotees, all glories to the Son of the devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to you, Srila Prabhupada.